You keep calling it procrastination, but the truth is, it's fear. This is what I wish someone had told me 10 years ago. When I wanted to start my business, when I wanted to take my life from this level to this level in terms of income, in terms of my potential, I wish somebody had told me that. The truth is that we lie to ourselves when it comes to delaying what we know we have to do. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can actually face the truth, how you can actually face your fears and stop procrastination once and for all. Hi, my name is Jay, and over the last 5.5 years, I've been working with hundreds and thousands of people, helping them overcome procrastination, helping them overcome anxiety, helping them overcome the struggles that they face with themselves, with the relationships that they have, with success, helping them become more calm, helping them become more confident, helping them become more clear, and finally feel in control of their life. In this video, we're going to talk about the big elephant in the room, procrastination. So, what the hell is procrastination in the first place? It's when you delay something to tomorrow or day after or a different time that you know you have to get done now, but you don't do it. You don't do it because there's a feeling. There's something that inside of you that is pulling you away. It's repelling you. And you want to either go ahead and distract yourself. It's just too painful to engage with the task. Procrastination, I can tell you one thing about procrastination, is that after working with hundreds of my clients, a lot of them entrepreneurs, and a lot of them suffering from procrastination. Usually, people procrastinate about things that they don't like to do. There's something about that thing that they don't like to do. A lot of entrepreneurs, for example, especially new entrepreneurs, they procrastinate selling. They'll do everything that they can to do the part of the whole startup process that they enjoy. They'll make the perfect logo, they'll design the perfect plan, they'll come up with even a hiring plan, they'll decide what their funnel is going to be like, they'll do all of this planning. But the one thing that they won't do is go out there and sell. They keep procrastinating the part that they find to be the most difficult. And I've done this as well. Let's admit it, like we've all procrastinated. And it's the stories that you tell yourself when you procrastinate that's the real danger here. Because if you can even just acknowledge your own fear, like, you know what, shit, I'm afraid of going out and selling. I'm afraid to put myself out there as a person and pursue this relationship. I'm afraid to ask for this thing. I'm afraid. I'm afraid if I start the business, I'm going to fail. Even facing your fear is a huge step. But what stops you from facing your fear are going to be things which I would call your patterns, right? It's going to be a pattern that disguises your fear. It prevents you from facing that part of you that you most don't like. Let's call it your shadow. The part of you that you don't even want to acknowledge, the part of you that you wish nobody in the world sees. This part of you is what we're trying to protect ourselves from. It's really funny, it exists, but you don't want to acknowledge it. This is the literal elephant in the room that people don't want to acknowledge. So when it comes to procrastination, comes to delaying the things that you have to do, you could say to yourself, oh, you know what, I'll do it later. I've got something else more important right now. The things are not perfectly set up right now. I've got family right now that I have to help. How many times do we get up in the morning and say, you know what, today I'm not really kind of feeling like working out. I'm going to just work out tomorrow. I'm feeling a little sleepy. I'm feeling a little tired. And we keep procrastinating and we justify it to ourselves. I'll start my diet tomorrow. I'll start my fitness plan tomorrow. I'll start my business tomorrow. The reason we do these justifications is because we don't actually want to face the painful truth. If I go to the gym with this big belly, I'm going to feel embarrassed working out in front of everybody. I'm going to feel like shit because I'm going to look at everybody else who's fit or who's working so hard, and I'm going to look at me and I'm going to feel horrible about myself. I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to start my training today. Or I'm not going to start my diet because I don't want to eat healthy food that doesn't give me the kind of satisfaction and comfort that I desire, I crave, because I have been through such a difficult day at work. I am so stressed out. This is the only source of happiness that I have. I need to eat this goddamn cheesecake. I deserve it. I need it. I'm going to start my diet tomorrow. It's all an excuse. It's all an excuse. I don't want to go dating right now. I don't want to find a man or a woman to share my life with right now because I'm too busy with my career. Too busy. Can't you see how busy I am? I don't want to go and spoil my time looking for a relationship. Why would I want to do that? And these stories, this is the cancer. This is the cancer that's eroding your life, your time, one day at a time. This is the cancer. This is what's killing your life, one day at a time. This is what's stopping you from progressing and actually reaching your goal because you just won't start towards it. My personal struggle with procrastination has got to do with starting this work, the work that I'm doing right now, the work that I do with my clients, the work that I'm doing right now with you recording this video. Because for 12 years of my life, I knew that my calling was about helping people change the way that they think and they feel. I just knew that mental health was a huge part of what I was going to do in my life. That's because I knew that in my family, people struggled with mental health. I struggled with it as a kid. And I just knew, you know what they say, right? Life happens. So I got a job, started working, I did really well, worked really hard, made some money. And even though the money wasn't life-changing, what it did was it created security for me and security for my family, which is what I thought was the right thing to do at that time. Even though I wanted so desperately to do the work that I'm doing right now, I stopped myself. I was waiting for the perfect time. That was the pattern that I had, waiting for the perfect time. And I used my family. I'm saying this on record in public. I used my family as a scapegoat because I said to myself that I needed to do a job that I did not want to do just so that I could take care of my family. It was an excuse. It was a complete excuse. And how many times have you made an excuse about something that you're putting off for later, and you're blaming it on family, you're blaming it on your kids, you're blaming it on the spouse, you're blaming it on the financial situation? How many times have you done that? Because I wasted about 4 years of my life going back and forth of, what, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next month, I'll do it next year. And it was agonizing. And when I finally pulled the trigger 5.5 years ago and decided to come on this journey and start helping people, and when I finally pulled the trigger and I started taking this social media stuff a lot more seriously, telling you, everything shifted for me. I started making more money that I could use to take care of my family than I had ever done before. And I was happier. I was just a better person to be around. Like, my family was grateful because they saw me and they saw the change inside of me. Just because I had finally decided to face my fear. So how do you even do this? Like, it's easy to say, okay, face your fear. I'm looking at the camera and I'm saying, okay, face your fear. But I mean it. I really mean it. Because the only way you're going to reach your dream, you have to realize, is the only thing that's stopping you, the only thing that's in between you and your dreams is not some productivity hack, or not another better way to manage your time, not a hack to get over procrastination, but it is you learning, deciding that it is now time to face your fear and to look at your patterns and decide, what are my patterns protecting me from? What fear are my patterns helping me cope with? And if you're confused about that, because I know that how do you even start? How do you even start to figure out and tease out your patterns? there's something that I'd like to give you as a gift. There's a link in the description below. Go ahead and click on that link. It'll take you to an assessment. When you do that assessment, it will tell you something that's profound. It'll tell you your fears, your deepest, darkest fears. And it will tell you the patterns that you use to cope with that fear. And not only that, but it will tell you then what you need to do in order to start facing your fears to step out. When I first did this test and I realized that I feared not looking perfect, not being a good son, being looked on as somebody who wasn't good enough, that was a fear of mine. I realized that I had to start being okay with how other people see me or judge me. It's not so much see me, but how they judge me, what they think about me, what kind of character or value that they might put on me. Because the truth is that I know who I am, and I know what my character is, and I know what my values are. And somebody else may or may not have the same viewpoint, and I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay with making mistakes. My own viewpoint about me needed to relax a little bit, because I saw myself as somebody with very high standards and therefore cannot make any mistake. And you can't make any mistake because your standards are so high. Guess what? You never start because you never feel ready to jump in, because hey, if I make a mistake, I'm going to feel awful because I'm going to beat myself down. That was a pattern that I had. That test helped me understand my pattern. You might have a different pattern. You might have a pattern where you're focused completely on other people and making sure that people like you, and kind of having an image where people admire you, and make sure that they always love you. Or maybe you want to have an image where you always show that you are successful, rich, famous, that people of influence. And that is very important to you, because if you don't have that, then it means that you are nothing, that you have no inherent value. Or you could have a completely different sort of pattern, or a completely different fear, that if you don't know something, it means that you're not safe, that you're not capable enough, that more knowledge means more power, means more strength, means that you're now less vulnerable. But that's not always true, because knowledge without action does nothing. So what is your pattern? And then what is your fear that your pattern is protecting you from? Go to the description below, click on that link, take the test, and I hope that it gives you a massive breakthrough. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, please ring that notification bell so that you get notified for every video that I put on. And go to the comments, let me know what you thought of this video. If there's any questions that you might have. If you have questions, by the way, then please put them on comments. Could be about anything. Could be about life, could be about relationships, could be about something that you're struggling with, could be about confidence, could be about anxiety, could be about anything at all that you're struggling with from an emotional or mental space. And maybe I'll make a video on it, if it's something that I can help you with. So go and put a comment down below, do the test, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.